Welcome back to my channel, everybody. It has been a couple of weeks since I last posted because I first came down with food poisoning while I was on vacation, and then as soon as I started to feel better, I came down with the flu, which seems to be going around, and so I took last week off because I couldn't move. My body was so shut down. So this week I thought we would do a little bit of a slow reset my life type of vlog. I have the sheets from my bed because I was, you know, after you're sick you gotta clean everything and start over. So I've got clean sheets in the dryer that we're gonna put on, and we're gonna get the bed remade, get the remnants of what is left from me being sick out of this room, do a little bit of craft cleanup so that I can start 2026 with a little bit of a cleaner space. There's definitely more organizing content coming your way because crafting stuff is always out, it's always coming out, and it's always making a mess. We are going to get this room reset. We're going to do a little bit of a craft room reset. I'm also going to give you a little bit of a knitting update at the end. I know I've done a lot of sewing this year, but I also learned how to knit this year, and I thought I would update you guys on where I am with that. I did a little bit of that once I started to feel a little bit better, but I wasn't quite ready to like hit life again, you know? So I made really good progress on my knitting this week, so I'm excited to share that with you. Maybe we'll pull out a little bit of a Christmas puzzle to do on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and get my side table set back up so that I have my books and my chargers and things like that, so that I feel like I am reset and ready to really go again. I'm probably 90% of the way better. Obviously I still sound like I've got a little bit of stuff in my throat, but let's get started. Okay, I have gotten the sheets changed and done a little extra cleanup in my space, and I cleaned up some of the craft stuff from the video a few weeks ago, and I put out a Christmas puzzle for me to do this evening and, you know, for the next week or so while time kind of feels a little bit wonky. You know how between Christmas and New Year's time always kind of feels a little bit weird. I always like to have a puzzle out during holidays with fun illustrations on them for me to do during these weeks when my brain isn't quite on board. But anyways, I thought the last thing we could do this week was I could tell you about my knitting, which I have not done yet on this channel, so this is very exciting. At the beginning of, after I learned to quilt in January, February, I decided that I was on a freaking roll and I was gonna learn something else. So I decided to pick up knitting. Now this is like the third time I've tried to learn how to knit in my life. Once when I was like 9, I just like didn't have the patience or the like videos or things yet. Once again in college where I learned how to knit, but I didn't learn how to purl, and I was just kind of like doing straight lines, which was fine, but I like didn't really have the patience or the mental space. Yeah, I was in college to really dig into the hobby at the time, and it's something that I've always wanted to learn how to do. Wool sweaters and things are very expensive, and if I decided if I was gonna have one, I would want one in colors and cuts that were more my style and fit me better. So learning how to do knitting for sweaters and things was kind of my goal. So I have cast on a sweater. This one is, I have the pattern right here, I can't remember the name. Oh, this is the Handmade sweater by Florence Miller, I think is her last name. This is the, oh wait, this is the step-by-step sweater from Handmade by Florence. Okay, when I pick up new hobbies now, because there's so many videos available, I kind of go to places that have free patterns and free videos that can teach me. I try really hard not to spend like buku's amount of money on new hobbies that I don't know if I'm gonna like or not. So I was scrolling Instagram, TikTok as one does, and I found this one is one that a lot of people recommended for like beginner knitting. So I went to Joann's, RIP, we miss you, and I bought some just like acrylic yarn on sale, because once again, I don't invest in expensive things if I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. So I spent like $30 on yarn, and then I bought these interchangeable like needle set from Amazon because they didn't have any at Joann's when I went to go get them. So I got those, and I got some stitch markers. So all in all, I was pretty sure I was gonna like knitting, and so I was okay getting like the interchangeable needles, so I didn't have to buy them again for a while. I cast on a sweater in February, and I worked on it for like a few months, and then, you know, as you're learning, I made a lot of mistakes, and I got to a point where I had enough mistakes that I was like, maybe we like chalk it up to learning and we frog it and pull it all out and start over. So I did that, and then it took me like 2 or 3 tries to get the cast on and the number of stitches right again. And so this is my 3rd attempt at knitting this sweater, and I am still up in the, this is like top down in the round. And so I am still like up in the yoke area. I never got past I never got to like the sleeve, getting to the sleeves the first time. So, but I have some stripes, and I think I need to move up in the size of cable I have in the round. It's starting to get hard to push it around. But I would say I'm like, how many more rows do I have? I have like 10 more. So like 20 more, like 10 more sets of rows. These, when you're in the round doing the increases, it's like they're in sets. You do a row with increase and just a row of knitting. So I have 10 more sets of rows, and it takes a little bit longer every time because you had 8 stitches every time you go around doing an increase. And I'm hoping that I can get that part like to the point where I'm like doing the sleeve part where you like, I have no idea how to do it, so I'm hoping to get the yoke done so that by like the new year maybe, so that I can move on to like the sleeves and in the round all the way down the sweater in 2026. I knew that this was going to be something that took a long time, partially because I'm new to knitting, I'm a new knitter, but also I have a lot of hobbies. So obviously you guys have seen me sew, you've seen me read, you've seen me do puzzles, you've seen me do paper crafts. Like there are a lot of things that I like to do, and since I'm not just knitting all the time, like it's not my sole like main hobby, this is one that I kind of do like when I'm watching TV. Like I watch a lot of college basketball this time of year, and so when I sit down to watch basketball, I'll reach for my sweater and I'll knit for 2 hours while I watch basketball. So like, I think I'm going to get a lot further in the next like 3 months during the basketball season than I did during the summer. After I had to frog it and figure out my mistakes during the summer, I took a little bit of a break. So I'm hoping to just do a lot more knitting generally in the new year. But I've been really enjoying like the brain off part of knitting. It was not something I kind of have to think when I'm sewing. I kind of have to think when I do other things, even though it like helps my brain relax. When you're kind of on a roll knitting, my brain kind of like slows down because my hands are doing something. But I think I have gotten pretty far this year, and I thought I would share this with you so that when I have made more progress, I can do a little update for you. Knitting is something that I would definitely recommend it. It's not like the easiest thing I've ever learned, but like with a YouTube video and like the video that is with this particular pattern, which I can put the video down in the description. It has the pattern with it as well in their video description. When you're learning something, having like a visual to like really follow, and then to be able to like just be able to like click back and rewind a bunch of times until you figure it out, has been like such a big difference in me picking this up and keeping it in my head this time. Because if I set it down and I kind of forget what I'm doing, I just have to go back to the video and get a quick refresh. So if you've been thinking about knitting or learning how to knit, this is one I would definitely recommend. I think the pattern is pretty simple, and the video being able to walk you through the whole process from casting on to casting off is really helpful if you're trying to learn. Anyways, it is now Christmas Eve. I changed my sheets yesterday, but it's now Christmas Eve, and I'm gonna do a little bit of knitting tonight when family is over, while everybody's here and chatting, and I just need something to do with my hands. I have some cookie dough to make this afternoon with my brother to give to my grandma for her Christmas gift. We like to give her frozen cookie dough. She's 93, so she has made a lot of desserts, but she never really made cookies, but she likes cookies, so we're making her salted caramel cookies, which are her favorite. So I've got quite a few things that I'm gonna do this evening for Christmas, and I hope that you have a Merry Christmas, and I will be back next week for a little 2026 preview of what I want to make next year. And I will see you next week for a little New Year's Eve video. Bye.